Hello, welcome to Scrap Time. My name's Christine, and this video is part of the Inky background series. And I'm going to be showing you 4 ways to just add a little bit to the final touches of your projects. So the first one I'm going to show you is Shimmery Goodness. This is from the Crafter's Workshop, and it is this shimmery, can you see it? Shimmer paste. But it's nice to add on top of your final projects rather than like on a bottom layer. More as a top layer. And here I just wanted to show you how when I cleaned my stencil, I rubbed it on this card, and now the card has all those little textures of shimmery goodness. So even though I'm using it as a top layer here, this can be more of a bottom layer. So it can work both ways, but it is fun for a top layer. The other thing I just want to show you is that on the top I write the name of the product because I store all my products like this, and they're all these containers with white lids. So if you write the name of the product on top, it makes it easier to find. So I have this paper here that I've been working on, and I thought I'm going to add just a bit of shimmery goodness down a side. So on the other one I did the whole thing. If you have your actual finished project, I would probably just do it down a side. Now because I'm not doing too much, I'm not going to tape it down. I'll be able to hold this in place. So here you can see the shimmery goodness. I'm going to pick up a bit so you see it does hold its size, its shape. So I'm going to put it down and just put it through the stencil. So in this case, it's picking up a bit to that final star there, but I'm not going to fully do that star. It's okay if there's just a little bit. Or should I do it? Maybe I will do it. I wasn't going to do it, but you can always change your mind as you go. So I'm just going to fill in that star. The other thing you can see is probably on this stencil I had a bit of ink, and my shimmery goodness has turned to pink. Ah, it rhymes. Anyway, so we're going to have pink shimmery goodness a bit rather than the clear white. So you can you see the, once it dries, can you see it like that? No. Once it dries though, as you can, when we did this big one, you'll be able to see all that shimmer. And it just adds a nice little finishing to your project. I'm going to put that aside, and I would wipe this down, but you can see on my palette knife here how it's gone pink. I don't want to put that pink back into it, so what I could even do, just because we don't want to waste our product, is I'm going to dig deep, see what I have going on over here. Here I have this card here, and I'm going to just put some of it on there. And with my finger even, rub some of that color on. So you don't always have to use it through a stencil. You can just put it on like that. And I'm going to wipe this off now. I still have some shimmery goodness on my stencil, so let me see if I can find another background. This one has some embossing and that on it, but because it's not that much, I think I can just do this and rub it off onto . And it's hard to see, but there's some designs there. So it might be hard to see on the camera, but there is some designs there. What I'll do is I'll post a picture on the Instagram page at Scrap Time Photos so you can see the little texture it came. Okay. So that is shimmery goodness. So next up is the Stickles Glitter Gel. This is the new product that was released just last month. So the difference between this and regular Stickles is it's thicker and has some chunky pieces in it. So I want to show you here on the tag. I like to use it just with my finger, and you can see there's a couple stars, and I just put some of that glitter around the side of the tag and down here. So on this piece, I just put some on top, all through here. And then here again on top, and you can see some of those chunky stars and that. So I think just adding this in the background is a nice sort of finishing to your project. So I have this background here, and I just thought, oh, it'd be nice just to add a bit of glitter on top and coming down a bit. So all I do is I take it on my finger, and you can see it's quite thick, and I want to rub it thin. So there is a couple of stars there. Do you see the stars? Now this glitter comes in 6 different formulations, different metallics, golds and silvers. Nebula, a black one. You can also, it's thick enough that you could use it through a stencil, but for me that's too much. I just wanted this nice sort of layered background. Here's another star. So when I have a big blob, then I'll just even it out, and then I have a little on my finger, so I'm just going to push it down so we get little specks of glitter down there. Can you see the glittery goodness on that? And so that just adds a nice sort of finishing layer to your project before you finish it, however you're going to completely finish it, but just a nice little top layer. And it dries fairly quickly as well when you do it this way because it's thin. Okay. So now another product a lot of you have probably used are the Nouveau crystal drops. So they're nice to add little drops. So here I had put those little white dots I stamped with my pencil, so I just filled them in with a blue. I used this one here. It is Caribbean Ocean. I just used to fill in the little holes. This one I just added 3 dots along the bottom, so it doesn't have to be a lot, but just by adding a few it just adds something extra. This one was Carnation Pink. And then here where I doodled that flower, I added some drops just at some of the meeting points. And that time I used crushed grapes. So I have this card here that we had different dots going on, so I thought it would be a good one to add some of the pearls to. Now when you use it, I like to just start off, because you can see there is that little air bubble. So then I have got rid of the air bubble. And because I like big dots, I'm using it straight from the bottle. I want some big dots. I don't want just little tiny things going on. I'm going to do some in the purple and then some in pink. And the thing is too, it can go over your embossing paste, it can go over acrylic paint, it can go over gesso. So I'm just going to do the first one there, make sure some of that air is out. Just overlapping some of those lines. Just something like that. You can see how just it adds another sort of extra to your card. And the last little technique I'm going to share is adding black little splatters. I'll just quickly go through. I've done a bunch. So I like to add just a little bit of black to my backgrounds, and I find a good way to do this is with splattering some black paint. I find that I like to have a bit of white and a bit of black on all my projects. So I did all of these at once. I laid them all out and splattered. And so if you do have a lot of things, it's good to do it that way so you don't end up with as much of a splattery mess. So I'm going to share a couple tips for splattering. I have this background here that I'm really liking. And I like to use Liquitex ink in carbon black with a pointed brush. And the reason why I like to use Liquitex inks is because it's already liquidy. I don't have to add water to paint, so I'm getting the true black color. And I like to use a brush because I can just dip it right in. And then what you want to do is just, oh, I don't have enough, is tap. Now if you tap lightly, you're going to get random. If you tap hard, you're going to get that line. You want to be fairly close to your project. You don't have to be really high up. You have more control if you're close. And just like that, we've added a nice little finishing to our card. I always think a few black splatters just can finish something off. When you're like, what is it missing? It's probably missing a few black splatters. So that's 4 ways that you can add something extra. On top, as a top layer, we have the shimmery goodness, we have the Nouveau drops, we have the Stickles, and the black splatters. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to Scrap Time videos on YouTube. And for more Inky backgrounds, be sure to check out the Inky background playlist.